Live life so that you create good vibes. The good vibes. Live life so that you radiate good vibes. The good vibes. Live life so that you generate good vibes. The good vibes. Live life so as to emanate good vibes. The good vibes. Spread the message of your life with good vibes. With good vibes. With good vibes. Welcome to the Good Vibes Podcast. Hey my friends, and welcome to this episode of the Good Vibes. I'm super excited that you are over here. Today we will continue on our journey of evolved learning. Evolved learning is when we learn from all the people in our lives and otherwise, all the things and experiences that we encounter. In general, we learn from life. So get pumped up now to feel alive with the good vibes. Hey, welcome once again. Welcome back to the Good Vibes Podcast. This is episode number 1, and it talks about what it takes to lead a happy life. Now, if this is something you're struggling with right now, I welcome you, and I'm really glad that you found this podcast, because I'm going to be covering topics about how to lead a happy life throughout this journey of podcasting. But I've saved this episode because this one's special, and this one is going to talk about the basics, what it actually takes to lead a happy life. Even though we are going to be covering issues and topics in the future which all help in some way to help you lead a happy life, this one in particular is a very well thought of one. I spent 2 months thinking about this one, and it's now that I'm recording it after everything is completed, after all the recordings for launching the website are completed. This is podcast number 1 on the website, but I've saved it for the last because this is the crux of the journey ahead. And I'm giving you quality advice, well thought of advice, and I'm sure this is going to help you. Getting to the topic, what it takes to lead a happy life. Before I tell you what it takes to lead a happy life, I want you to define a happy life for yourself. What does a happy life feel like? Does it have a higher sense of energy and passion in it? Does it have a more satisfying job? Does it have less stress? Does it have the ability to find the joy in small things like the rain or a walk in the park or children playing? Because there are infinite ways to be happy, and once you get into this zone of being happy, you realize that every small thing has the potential to make you happy. The same way, there's so many things that have the ability to stress us out. If we just reverse the triggers, we find that we can be happy with almost anything. It doesn't take anything to be happy, and it's something so many people in this world struggle with, searching for happiness and finding that inner peace and happiness. It's all around us, and it's all around us at any instant. And that's why I want you to come up with a vague or a clear definition of what your ideal happy life is. And I want you to picture it in your mind. What are you doing? Are you in a fulfilling relationship? Are you surrounded with a group of supportive people? Or have you finally managed to heal a relationship which is very stormy right now, perhaps? Or is it this new goal that you want to chase and you want to get started with it? Or you're in this new goal and you're in the process of trying to achieve something and you want to reach the completion. What's your definition of a happy life? And the simple answer to achieving that, the first step is willingness. The first step is willingness. And many of you will be going, of course it's willingness. Of course I'm willing. Of course I'm willing to do this. Of course I'm willing to have a happy life. But just pause for a few seconds and ask yourself this again. Am I willing to lead a happy life? Because if you've reached this podcast, it already speaks for you. Maybe you are already willing, but you need to make it crystal clear that you're willing to do this. And you need to have very, very strong supporting reasons to fall back on, because there's always this sense of inertia. And this is the perfect place to talk about it, because this inertia is going to really challenge you when you step into trying to make your life happier. In the sense, whatever state of being you are in presently is going to act extra. It's going to feel like it's unnecessarily challenging you when you want to lead into this happy life. It's because of inertia, because you have carried forward this momentum of whatever state of energy you are in right now. It's carried forward this momentum of all your thoughts, all your actions. It's carrying that momentum forward. And when you suddenly want to stop that and switch it to something new, it doesn't happen, because there's this inertia that's going to pull you and challenge you and going to really make you question yourself again whether you really want to do this. And when that happens, you need to have these strong reasons within you that help you battle this inertia. And this inertia works in the positive way too. So when you are in this positive zone, like for me, when I'm in this positive zone, and suddenly if I have a dull day, or if I have a not so good or productive day, this inertia of this happy state doesn't allow me to go into a negative state. Do you relate with me? It's not just one way. So it is a lot of momentum that you carry forward into getting and leading a happier life. And that is going to create momentum for you, and it's going to help you along the way when you get low again. So number one is get willing. Be ready inside out. It should speak for you that you're really willing to do this. Because when you're deeply, deeply willing to do this, the actions start pouring on their own. The actions that you take are more willing. The actions are more passionate. The actions are more thought of. They have more intention. And that leads, those are the steps to start building a life around you which is happy. And I know it may be challenging and it's tough. Let's get that straight, that it's fun, it's worth your time, but it's tough because everyone is carrying the baggage of their past with them. And there are things like the people in your life, or there's some things maybe you couldn't have controlled earlier, or you didn't know of, or unknowingly you were in a state. Maybe you were negative for some time in your life. Maybe you went through a series of events that led you to feel really bad and you were low for a long time. And maybe, I don't know, because some things you cannot change. You cannot change your past. And whatever has happened in your past sometimes blocks you from leading this happy life. It blocks you from being willing. It blocks you from taking action. So all I want to say for that is, I honor your past. I honor every single thing that has happened to you. And it may be really deep and low and depressing, but that's what's made you who you are. And that's why I honor every single event that has ever happened to you, good or bad. Because you know what? All that is going to help you lead a happy life today. Every single challenge you have, every life learning that you've had is all going to help you over here. So whenever you face this, you're going to face it, because even being deeply willing to do something is a tough thing. Sometimes we are not able to let go of some past baggage. We're not able to let go and trust that things can be better. Sometimes we're not able to let go of this old story that we've been carrying with us all along, which tells us that we're not worth it, or which tells us that it's just not for us, or it's not the life that we've led, or it's too late, or any excuse that just pops up. It's because of a past experience, because of how things were back in the old days. And that's changing, and you're new. So just remind yourself that this baggage that you're carrying with you, and validate it or question it and ask it whether it really needs to be with you today. Because that's what it takes to lead a happy life. You need to question yourself and ask yourself whether you're really, really willing to do this. And once you become really, really willing, that is after overcoming all these past experiences, and when you start asking yourself whether you're willing, you're going to re-encounter these experiences in the process. Like I told you, that's because of the inertia. And when that comes up, just thank the experience and tell it that you're going to do it anyway, because you know what? You're worth it, and you deserve to lead a happy life, because we are meant to support the ones around us. Because for that, we need to support ourselves, feel content, feel happy, and that's when we can spread the goodness all around us. And you may feel that this is a really simple step, but the fact that I've emphasized it for one big podcast says that it's something you may need to reevaluate and consider whether you really are being willing, whether you really are letting go of some old story of yours and are ready to shape a new one this moment onwards. You're a new person after listening to this podcast. You're a new person this moment. So don't get stuck up with that and limit yourself just because of your past. You can do it. And I'm feeling excited for you, because when you take this step and you really lead that happy life, you're going to see how beautiful this world is. And if you see it from my point of view, I just am awed by how magical this world is and how it can give me happiness in such small things. And I'm waiting for you to get to that state, because someday we'll be discussing this and we'll be enjoying our lives someday. Yeah, we'll meet someday, right? So that was the first step. The second step, of course, is being regular in this path. Even if they're tiny milestones, very, very tiny. And even if you can't do very, very tiny, go very, very, very tiny. Just appreciate yourself once a day, or thank something, or just listen to these podcasts on self-development and self-care, so that you remind yourself to be intentional and to be grateful and all the other things. We're going to cover a lot of topics in this podcast. We're going to overcome fears. We're going to conquer our dreams. We're going to really charge through life, and it's going to be amazing. I'm just waiting for you to get on this train and hoot hoot, because we are coming life's way, and we are coming with a lot of enthusiasm. So I've just spoken about this one thing called willingness, and think about it until the next podcast. And even if you're not willing, it's okay. but just allow yourself to feel willing in the future. And whenever that happens, you're going to see the magic starting to change life. And don't expect it to happen in one click, in one switch. It takes years sometimes. It takes a week. I don't know what it is for you. But this is just to remind you that you need to get willing. And we'll be covering more in the subsequent podcasts, because it takes a lot to lead a happy life. But this is the first step, and we need to be aware of it. That's all for today. I will meet you again in the next podcast. Once again, welcome over here. I'm super glad that you've made it over here, and we're going to enjoy this journey, and we're going to do stuff. I'll meet you again next time. Hey my friends, did you enjoy this podcast? If you did, do rate, review and subscribe to it on iTunes or whichever app or application you are using. And if you feel someone in your life needs to hear this message, don't think twice about sharing it. Or if you feel this inspires you to record one of your own podcasts, go ahead and spread the good vibes. Spread the message of your life with good vibes. With good vibes.